Cast, if you will, your minds back to the 1970s, 1980s, 1990s, even the early 2000s. When you made a complaint against the police, and believe it or not, that is possible. You can submit formal official complaints against the police. You do have recourse. Yeah. Not everybody knows that. A lot of people are not made aware that you can submit formal complaints against the police, but it is possible. Do you remember being asked to provide information about your sexual orientation? No? Interesting. It's so bizarre to me that this specimen, whatever you want to call it, this theme has infiltrated and spread everywhere, infecting every organization, every institution, at every level. When did this happen? How did it happen? What relevance does it have to anything? What does a person's sexual orientation have to do with the process of making a formal complaint against the police? I decided to submit a formal complaint against the police liaison officer. You've probably seen the footage. It went viral. There was a protest in Newcastle. A young girl was standing on a table holding a British flag, and a lovely, charming police liaison officer walked up from behind her, snatched that flag right out of her grasp, and proceeded to walk away. It went mega viral, understandably. Lots of people covered it. Firstly, it was absolutely disgraceful what happened. It was disgusting. It says a lot about the current state of the police in the UK and how terrified they are to take the necessary action against the people who deserve their attention. You know, gangs who are involved with the sexual exploitation of teenagers, girls, young women, people who pose a very serious threat to public safety. No, ignore them. We'll go after the easy targets. We'll go after a young teenage girl holding a British flag. We'll look for people who post unapproved political opinions on social media. We'll go knocking at their door at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Please stay there. The reason I'm filming you is because I'm sick of the harassment. Every time I open the door to one of your officers, they are filming me. So now you know how it feels. Now it is 2:30 in the morning. Can I ask why for a second time tonight you are disturbing me and my son and my...
Yeah, because there's I've been made aware there's videos that have been posted onto social media, including those that were made this morning.
This morning? What made this morning?
And of my officers that have been round this evening.
Right, and...
So I'm here to kindly ask that you remove said videos from social media.
The police is a failing institution, and fewer people trust that organization. Public faith is more or less gone, I would say. The police chose their side, and it was not the side of the great British public. They are captured. They are ideologically captured. They are woke to the core. Have you ever seen the police attending those absolutely terrible, cringeworthy pride events? So it's one thing to make a video and post it on YouTube or Twitter, X, complaining about the police and how terrible they are, but it's another thing to make the complaint official and have it documented. So I decided to submit a formal complaint on the Northumbria Police website. You add your details, ask for your name, date of birth, your address, and how the police can contact you. After that, complain about your complaints. Have you told us about this before? Do any of these describe what happened? Use of force, rudeness, arrest or time in custody, general level of service, how the police searched a person or a home, building, etc. So you tick which one is suitable. Then, please tell us what happened. Example, what was said or done. Who was involved? If there was any damage or injury, you have approximately 2,500 characters. That's not actually correct, because once you go over 2,500 characters, it tells you have exceeded it. So it should say you have a limit of 2,500 characters. So this is what I wrote. I wish to submit a formal complaint against Police Liaison Officer 2662 in response to said officer's poor conduct and possibly illegal activity during a rally in Newcastle held on Saturday, 27th September 2025. There is clear footage from more than one angle showing this officer forcibly ripping a Union flag from the hands of a peaceful 16-year-old girl. The young woman had been standing on a table. When instructed to get down, she immediately complied. Despite her cooperation, Officer 2662 then seized her Union flag without warning. The officer forcibly snatched it from the girl's hand, scrunched it up, and retained it. The officer then quickly moved away. The young woman then attempted to approach the officer, possibly to object to the seizing of her private property. However, the young woman was then blocked and physically manhandled by a member of the evidence gathering team, number 2091. This behavior is deeply troubling and highlights serious concerns. No other flags, including Palestinian flags visible in the crowd, appear to have been seized. The selective removal of the national flag suggests politically motivated bias and unequal treatment. The Union flag is the national flag of the United Kingdom. Every citizen has the right to display it. To have it torn from a young person's hands by a police officer is outrageous and deeply offensive and alarming to the public. In addition, the police officer provided no documentation to the young woman to make the seizure of her private property official and lawful. It is likely that the officer committed an act of theft and violated the Theft Act 1968. In addition, it is possible that the officer is guilty of a public order offence by having violated Section 4A of the Public Order Act. Seizing and scrunching up the young woman's Union flag was possibly motivated by an intention to cause alarm and distress. In addition, I perceive the officer's actions as having been motivated by hate for the Christian community. In addition to any criminal charges that may be brought against the officer, a non-crime hate incident must be officially recorded against the officer's name, as per the College of Policing's guidance. The officer's conduct undermines trust in the impartiality of the police and brings the service into disrepute. This matter has caused significant public anger. No citizen in this country should ever have their Union flag ripped from their hands and stolen by the police. And that's where my description finishes. Is this complaint about something that happened on one day or over many days? Yes, it happened in one day. Then you give the details of the date, the time, where it happened, any reference numbers. If there's anything else that you'd like us to know about what happened or about yourself that you think we need to know, you have approximately 800 characters. No. Next. This happens quite a lot. There's a problem, an unexpected problem occurred. Yeah, I have submitted formal complaints against the police through their websites previously, and it was surprising and interesting, or perhaps not too surprising really, how many times this appeared. There is a problem, an unexpected error occurred. I suspect that the intention is to tire people out, make them feel frustrated, make them lose time, and in the end say, oh, fine, I won't submit my formal complaint, just forget about it. It's not worth this time and it's not worth the headache. Clever little strategy. So I had to open a new tab, access the Northumbria police website again from the beginning, import all of my information again, paste the description in. Let's see what happens now once I click next. Good. Submitting. What would you like to see happen? Well, the officer committed an act of theft, which is a criminal offence, so I would like the individuals or the police involved to be criminally prosecuted. Submitting. And here we go. Will you answer a few questions about yourself? Why we're asking these questions? Knowing these things about you helps us to make sure our services are meeting the needs of all users and all communities. So you're saying that different users and different communities have different needs? But I thought we were all equal. Are you saying that people should be treated differently under the law? We only use this information as part of our equality monitoring. Oh, it is one word that I'm sick to death of. It's equality. Plus, of course, diversity and inclusion. You know, the woke terms. Age. How old do you think I am? Disability. Disability. You're disabled under the Equality Act 2010 if you have a physical or mental impairment that has substantial and long-term negative effect on your ability to do normal daily activities. Do you consider yourself to have a disability? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer any of them. I'm not going to give them that data. Ethnicity. This isn't your nationality, where you were born or have citizenship. It's about the group you feel as an individual you belong to. I feel as though I belong to the black community. Are you saying there's something wrong with the way I feel? Aren't you going to acknowledge the legitimacy of my self-identity? The groups here are those used in the census. What is your ethnic group? I prefer not to say. Sex and gender. Which best describes your gender? Female, male, self-described. Prefer not to say. What happens when I click? There. Please self-describe your gender. Attack helicopter. Remember that? Lauren Southern.
You're a cisgender straight woman.
I actually identify as an attack helicopter.
She was the first person I heard use attack helicopter as a way to expose the illegitimacy of my gender identity concept. Oh, so you can be all of these genders, but you can't be attack helicopter? Why not? Lauren Southern. It was actually Lauren Southern's coverage of the free speech protest at the University of Toronto that first introduced me to Jordan Peterson.
Free speech is the mechanism by which we keep our society functioning. Woo! It's as a consequence of free speech and the ability to speak that people can put their finger on problems, articulate what those problems are, solve them, and come to a consensus. Woo! And we risk losing that. With Bill C-16 and its surrounding legislation, it's the first time I've seen in our legislative history where people are attempting to make us speak their language. Shame! 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 Shame!
I'll go on. Prefer not to say. Is your gender now different from when you were born? I'm not telling you. That's got nothing to do with anything. All of this is just to socially engineer the public into thinking that this is normal and confusing them, basically. Sexual orientation, because that has a lot to do with a police officer snatching a flag from a girl. Absolutely. What is your sexual orientation? Why are you requesting this information? Why aren't you asking me whether I'm right-handed or left-handed? Why aren't you asking me what my favorite TV show is? Why aren't you asking me what my hair color is or my eye color? They probably will eventually. Why aren't they asking me what my favorite book is or what my favorite song is? They're asking me what I like to do in bed. Why aren't they asking me what music I like to listen to? I find it discriminatory and deeply offensive. What is your sexual orientation? Heterosexual or straight? Gay or lesbian? Bisexual? Other? If you click other, please describe your sexual orientation. Oh, let me spend a long time describing to you my sexual orientation. Prefer not to say. Fuck you. I'm not giving you that information. You shouldn't be asking for that information. Social engineers. What is your marital status? Marital status. What is your legal, marital, or registered civil partnership status? Married, in a registered civil partnership. Not married and not registered in a civil partnership. Prefer not to say. Pregnancy, maternity leave. Tell us about any paternity or maternity leave. Are you pregnant? Are you on maternity, paternity, adoption leave? Not pregnant or on maternity, paternity, adoption leave? Prefer not to say. Why are you asking for that information? Stop. Religion or belief. Do you follow a religion or belief? No. Buddhist, Christian, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Sikh, other. I'll click Muslim. Yeah. That'll get good results from them. They'll be terrified to offend me. There. Now they'll feel compelled to appease me. Otherwise, I'll accuse them of being racist, Islamophobic, bigoted, hateful. You know the score. Prefer not to say. Make a complaint. Confirmation. Please tick this. Please tick to confirm the information you've given us in this form is accurate to the best of your knowledge. Yes, it is. Next. There we go. Submit. The UK is becoming more and more of a joke country, a country that you cannot seriously, and the police have contributed to that enormously. They went woke, and everything woke turns to shit. Drop the ideology. Drop it. It's not good for anything or anybody. Things were better when you did not ask for this information. The UK police is a corrupt enterprise. They focus on monitoring people's social media posts and trying to intimidate perfectly ordinary, reasonable members of the public if they post unapproved political opinions, and they turn a blind eye to sexual offences committed by people who are not native to the land. We know that. We know about the report. We know that the police knew what was happening and they remained silent. Cowards, gutless cowards and traitors. The thing is, the people outnumber the police. Anyway, let's see what happens here.
Big scale.